Good day, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. So, I am Dr. Brenda Jean Power, and I talk about metaphysics, the nature of being. And this is Medicine Woman's Solution. Your soul has a solution. And life, every day, we live it, we physically partake in it, we mentally build it, we emotionally experience it. And we decide whether or not does any of this have to do with, what? You got to do your routine. You got to survive, 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 survive. But that's not what the energies are telling us to be anymore. Do you ever feel like you're not meant to survive, that there's more to life? This energy that's here, we're going to be really experiencing like four things happening all at once. And I think it's on the 12th. We got the new moon, we got the solar eclipse, we got the six planets parading around, and we have one more, the meteor showers. And I remember, I remember, uh, I was in prayers. I was with communing with spirit, and as I'm sitting there quiet and listening, it's like, wonder what I'll think next. And there's just this quietness, and then I started to really make sure that I was connected to spirit, and then it was like everything's going to change. And I thought, so I wrote that down, everything's going to change. Now, what I got to observe was whether or not that everything's going to change. I felt this choice point. I got to observe this choice point. I got to look at it and go, huh, what is this? And I could feel it was my ego self, my spiritual self. And it was such a different feeling to, well, I don't know how you want to say it. Some of you may have already know what that it's a strange place. You don't feel ego pushing. You don't feel the pressure. And I kept hearing this song all day today. It's by David Bowie and Queen, Under Pressure. And that was today. But in that moment, many years ago, I could hear how Spirit was telling me that it's all going to be like the Mandala. It's all going to be changed. And everything that we have to survive, where we're concrete and we're saying it's this, this, and this, and this, it can only be this, it could only be the one thing. And I thought, only one thing. And it's what we do with our will. What's the choice? What choice are we going to make? And once we make that choice, it's like we build a life around it. But how do you unbuild? How do you get to make another decision? You'd think, oh, it's just, I just changed my mind. And then I go in that direction. But that's not as easy as you think. So just like how I'm sitting there with this choice point going, oh, what is this? And I could feel how my soul is saying, it's time. And I'm like, I actually feel my soul. It felt like my heart was in a beautiful rhythm. My brain, I could feel my right brain and my left brain actually cooperating. Where if it was just left brain, just read stuff about Jill Bolte Taylor. And it's so noisy, it never shuts up. It's always giving meaning in it, even if it's not right. And that's why I always say hashtag don't believe your own BS. And I'm like, this is to me, this is so fascinating. And I got to know the stillness. And as I'm feeling the left and the right brain, the communication it was like spirit came in, I could feel the message, and my left brain didn't try to make crap up. It was, I'm going to translate what I heard. You're no longer separated. You're no longer divided. You're whole. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And so this choice point, I got to be in this energy for a while. So this helped out quite a bit. And I made note of it. I fired and wired in my brain. I wrote it down. I didn't really have any friends back then, so I would just talk to myself. This is before cell phones and cameras and things and recorders. And but I did it the old-fashioned way, which was to fire and wire, but it was the feeling. It was calm, it was peace, it was love, but it was a knowing. And it was like, oh, how do I know this knowing? And then when I was able to bridge the two, when I was really noticing that the right brain is quiet, expansive, spiritual. And when I would investigate and be in that spiritual state, my physical body felt like, ah, left alone. And then when I'd go back to my left brain, my right brain would just be quiet, forever guiding with love. And then when I thought, well, why aren't those two halves talking? So I started all about studying the brain. And I got used to that choice point. It'd be chaos. Like I woke up this morning with doom, 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 doom. It was just but it's not the one you think it is from David Bowie and Queen, Under Pressure. And Spirit is talking to me, but it's in the quiet place, which is my right brain. And so if I'm busy and my left brain is just like blah 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 blah, blah and you know, and trying to give me meaning because I looked over here and trying to give me meaning because I saw my husband and trying to give me meaning because of a gesture or a tone. So it's like I have to change this definition list. So I started building a language. So I would see things, characters, certain feelings, certain pictures, and I would say, this is what it means. I chose. And left brain, right brain goes, yeah, that feels right. It's knowing. It's knowing. I'm like, whoa, it is knowing. So what does spirit want was today's question. You have free will, and spirit wants you to experience with that free will to go out and create. But there's a call coming home. It's time. It's the planets, it's the everything that I just explained about the four big things that are happening. And spirit would told me that just because I think that this is solid, this is the first, this is everything, this is how I define my life, it's real, right? No, we're not in separation. We're in constant state of motion, growth, expansion, contraction. We're breathing. And the spirit is breathing. It can breathe you into life so you can see these slower frequencies and these slower energies. And this is rather exciting. And as I'm feeling how I'm holding my breath because I'm stressed or I feel like I can't take in life. And so I feel like I'm restricted, asthma and things. But who defined it? What defined it? Well, part of me is still in this unconditional story, unconditional, unresolved, continued story. And I'm thinking unconditional, but it seems like it's so full of conditions. And it's like, wait, whoa, 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 whoa. So love, what does spirit want? You to use love any way you want. There's no conditions on it. But when you start using your life force and you start getting stuck just in the one, and you miss the choice point, the soul's choice point, then you're not really paying attention as the spirit that breathed life. And my life is breathing, my body is breathing. I am spirit in form. And I'm choosing to express and to experience with emotions and build with the mental and feel with the physical and the sensory systems and it's to feel life. Now, let's be life, but I get to choose. I get to choose what I want to do. I get to choose what I want to be. I get to choose what I want to do. Do, be, do, be, do. Yeah, you've heard the philosophers, you've heard the singers, you even heard, Scooby Doo. And it's so I'm at this choice point, and it's like the whole world is like chaos, but it's not just random and not just organized. The quantum field is endless. And as I'm at the choice point looking as a spiritual human, in this frequency being human, without being fearful, I realized I'm standing in the middle of my left and right brain. I'm at this brain stem right at the colossal, oh, I can't ever say it. It's the piece that holds the brain together and gets to communicating. And I thought, am I entering as a spirit, seeing through this particular point in my brain, using everything that's physical, and yet still remaining in this state of love at this choice point? And I could see how this body would be like, because we got well springs in the bottom of our feet. And if you were to look at the energy in Chinese medicine and all that, and I noticed when this body's scared, it cuts off this point on the bottom of your foot. And it's like, but and my body would feel restricted. And I thought, oh, I'm not breathing. My body's not breathing. So even though there was chaos, I said, I have to define how different this chaos is. So I started to open up those bottoms of my feet and suck in love. But I thought, well, why doesn't it suck in the negative? Because it's not defined as good, bad. When I'm sucking in the quantum field to help me breathe physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually as this spirit, I don't have to make my first choice a conclusion. I can forever breathe in and out with the quantum field. So this isn't why the point was chosen for tribal basics. And so I check in to make sure from time to time that this bottoms of my feet are open. And when you look at out here, you're like, oh, that looks like chaos. We take in this world, this 400 billion bits of information. And as we take that information in, we only take in maybe 2,000 bits if you really think about it. We delete, distort, and generalize. We zero in out of that quantum field this particular things we want to look at. That's why everybody can't really see the same thing all the time. So the voice sounds different and weird on TikTok. I wouldn't be surprised. Facebook's over here going, you're having internet connections. I'm like, no, I'm not. And this one says you can't receive money. I'm like, but you're telling me how all this is working. But do I have to get caught up emotionally and then get mad mentally? No. So as I'm telling you about what does spirit want, then we have questions. Someone says, does so and so ever look at what I've made him? And this question can be answered in so many ways. They're coming from a place that is more separate from their. I just think TikTok's not supposed to be my world anymore. But anyways, Elena, I know my frequency's high. I shouldn't be affecting these phones because it takes it off of the topic of what we're talking about. So come on over to YouTube. But Elena, are you still here? Because I made some soul cards to ask these questions. Does he? Does he? Does he? That's worry, that's fear. So fear is telling you that you're supposed to, what do you want to call it? Fear is your leader. It's the separate part of you. You're not able to use your soul choice point. You're not able to operate as a spiritual human. So human part of us always asks questions. And when you're connecting up to spirit, you are looking, and so to ask that question, does he look at my art? You're concerned, you want them, or you do or you don't. And so we ask these questions. And so I pulled a soul card, and I don't have them labeled yet, but it's saying yes. And but aren't you in divination? No, it is the energy, because this is not just her field and it's not her scalar field. It is this entanglement cord that she's choosing to be connected with. And then yet it is in reverse to the yes, and it's actually no, you want them to. But it's even if they did see it, you're wondering, did it trigger? Was he emotionally triggered by it? Does he remember something? Does he like me? So there's always these hidden questions underneath a question. And when you're putting all of your energy into another soul and your life is on hold for them, spirit goes, okay, that's where they want to be. But then there is this other part of you that says, I'm not supposed to just be here. I'm supposed to be over here. We have technical difficulty across the whole board. We had a lot of major rain, and I think it might be affecting a lot of things. Yes, I am recording. That's why I feel like I wasn't supposed to really be teaching too much. So who else had a question? I'll even ask. Why? Why is I mean, physically, we can come up with an answer and say it's because of the rain. But why is my inner world creating my outer world to make it so that the connections today seem to be wonky? And it's not just one answer, it's several. I can sit at the choice point and I can see that out of this whole vast thing is that I'm vibrating at a different rate. I did the Lion's Gate, and I hosted it and I held space for everybody. We did the meditation, we did the ceremony, we did the questions, and we did a bunch of soul code healings, soul healings, because your soul is recording and it's looking at these particular points and looking at where you left your life force. So, I can ask, why is my internet connection, even though it says it's good, it's just sucky, you know? We can rationalize and say it is because of the rain that we had a deluge. Everybody's pretty much been flooded. And that should be good enough. of an answer. But yet, on a soul level, why am I projecting this? Why is my inner world projecting this? That's where we should be asking. Okay, so you could take and say metaphysically it's a bad connection to connect with everybody. But then bad is how is bad defined? It's not a good connection. Well, if you are dead, then you have a really strong high frequencies, and you may not be able to match up into the frequency that you are wanting to be in. Which timeline do you want to be in? And for me, by asking the question, it is there's scrambled energies. So I'll be thinking, okay, I need to do something about this vessel. So scrambled energies usually means that you cross your ankles and you do Wayne Cook and balance what? The left brain, right brain. And the message for all of you, what does spirit want? Maybe you're not supposed to hear it. Or maybe you have to learn to listen with your knowing, with your soul. Because if you're just choosing to be over identification with matter, we're going to have issues. And so I need to balance the organic suit. Maybe I need more potassium and more electrolytes. Balance the brain with energy. You make sure my meridians and my yin and yang are balanced. But what I feel is that my field has new frequencies and it's sparking. So the technology is like going, how do we connect to that? So my mental body is overactive, but not my mental body. The electronic disruption, because thoughts are electrical. And I am really tuning into the seventh plane. And if I'm tuning into the seventh plane, I have to expect that maybe I'm in a different frequency. I was slept so deep last night and dreamt so much, I almost outdid my normal light sleep. My heart, brain. Oh, that's a good point. I'm curious um, if my heart and my brain variable, that was a better or not. I don't know. So our answers, our questions, we want, our left brain says, I want one answer. I want meaning. But if you're like not sure and you want to know a heart brain coherence and learning to sit in the middle of, I guess, right before your brainstem goes into the physical body, there's this part of where you are beaming into and vibrating these frequencies, and all of this body is saying, yeah, this is where I'm at. When you're at a point at this hmm, in your life that, see, I'm on my second Saturn's return, and that's taking that extra leap with my soul to where am I going? How am I doing? And how am I doing it? So do and do and be what I'm choosing to be. So what does spirit want from me? And love, to be loved, to take that unconditional love and hold it, to not just live in the left brain or the right brain, but to be the yin and yang in balance. So now you're saying it sounds really weird. I'm wondering if I should just restart this one. Thumbs up if everybody in this camera thinks I need to fix it. Only sometimes. Well, I appreciate you, Devin. I'm live. These things happen, but do we need to lose our crap? No. Everything still tells me just keep going. YouTube is clearer. If I look on YouTube, is it clearer? Do you having any problems, Vicky, Autumn, April? 9 people watching. Let's get those thumbs up. Let's go get that up. I would like to see 9 little thumbs liking. So how did, so I don't know who's watching. So what does Spirit want? Okay, so here's the thing. I'm over here on YouTube, and then the people that happen to be here are the ones that went through the Lion Gate. So how did you wake up this morning? Well, goodness gracious. How did you wake up this morning? So we didn't get to go through all that stuff that I needed to go through, which was, well, how did I wake up this morning? I woke up going, what's that sound? Normally my watch vibrates and I don't necessarily hear the weird alarm sound I have. This time it wasn't, my physical body was so relaxed, it didn't feel it. I woke up going, what's that sound? I woke up happy, good. And I'm like, okay, looked over, yep, this is my bedroom. There's my husband, and there's got up, and I'm thinking, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I got organized. I got the clothes in the other room. I can just, all right, I'm just gonna do my normal routine. I'm giggling. And then I started singing the happy cells. And then I go, so again, I don't think we're allowed to really sing. So I started to tap it and tap it and tap. And then I just kept putting all that wonderful stuff, and I could feel, and it felt like I felt like a little dog. It's like my butt wanted to wiggle, and it's like, oh, let's stretch. And I woke up happy. And you didn't want to get out of bed. Is that good or bad? Is it because it's nice and warm, or you're too tired, or but then the next thought that came in was that conversation I was having with someone, and it was, wow, I outlived my parents. I'm 59. They died very young. I think it was 33 or 35 and 55. But I got a chance to grow old. But what does old really mean? Am I going to do it kicking and screaming, or am I going to do it gracefully, or I'm going to do it in a happy way? I don't need to fade away. I don't even need to grow old in that sense. I'm following this woman that's 70 years old, 70 something now, I think. And she was in bad shape. They told her, your body is falling apart. You're in old age. Get ready to die. And she's like, I don't think so. And her daughter does weightlifting and stuff. And she thought, she made a choice. She was really at that soul choice without even know she was doing it. And she's like, I'm not dying. Not, I'm not dying. She was determined. She changed her value, the container that helps you create life. And she started to value life, and she started valuing health. Oh God, yeah, at the age, her muscles are amazing. Her body, our bodies are amazing. And so she eats a certain way, she works out a certain way. She looks good. I mean, I'm 59 and I'm now just getting gray hairs. I do my best to eat healthy, and do I exercise? I do more mobility now for my joints. I balance out certain nutrition. But the mental and emotional, uh, you start to master that and your body begins to be happier already. And I am. I feel much stronger, much more happier and healthier. And I look at myself and I've been doing this for a while. My voice is crackling there. I've been doing this for a while, and I thought, God, I'm young there. I looked at myself now, and I don't look bad. It depends on the lighting. It depends on, and like, it's amazing what color does, or the environment does, or loss of color, and yeah, I'm not going to fade away. And the Lion's Gate is a lot to do with let yourself roar, no more being invisible. And I'm like, yeah, no more being invisible. I have a voice. I have lived through things, but none of that define me anymore. They helped me see the perspectives I needed to grow, and weight has been lifted. Ooh. So you get to choose how you wake up. Now, if you wake up grumpy, let him sleep. I love you, Alan. No, he wakes up great. Just an old joke there. And when my eyes open up, it's like, wow, I get to do this again. And then if people are in a negative mood, it is, wow, I get to do this again. And we can have be comedy. Oh my God. And flippant speaking and joking, and but your body is listening. Your cells are always listening. And the cells either say it's a threat, and if it's a threat, the cells stop eating and taking in nourishment, it closes and it moves away. And you think that you're just the one. No, your body looks at frequencies, environments. So somebody over there screaming and yelling, if you were deaf, you'd probably still feel it and hear it because your cells are going, oh my God, and then pulls away. When you begin to understand that it's not just an inner world or an outer world, it is your inner world and it's projecting outer. And when you begin to say, why is my inner world having issues? And in the state of just being an ego, it's because of them, 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 them. And it's like, no, it's not. It's frequency. Have you ever seen a calm dog all of a sudden go spastic and scared, and or a child scream instantaneously? You better check yourself before you wreck yourself or anybody else. If you're in a negative state, your body's probably already going, "Bling," your cells are going, "Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah." And even though you're putting on a mask of being happy and don't show your feelings, the body is like this boom. And you're like, your knowing is then dropped from the yin and yang in this balance, and you go made a choice. You went into defining it as that it's scary. You defined it as a child without any logical reasonings, you or the ability of cognitive abilities. You haven't gotten that far yet, but you picked it up and borrowed it from your family and your friends and everybody around you. To how so how do you break down what you build? You can't remodel over something that's not going to hold the foundation. So if you got torn cupboards and you want to rip them out, and you're like, oh, that's too much. I'll just put cupboards over the cupboards, and the room gets smaller. But to attach something that's already broken, it's not going to stay up long. You need to clean it out. Cleaning is amazing because when you watch certain shows that clean dirty carpets, or you watch someone clean a hoarded room, or you watch and you're thinking there's no way it can get repaired to look good again. But nobody really wants to do the elbow grease. Nobody wants to get in there. But when you do you do it begrudgingly, or do you do it because it's like, why do you do it? I remember we were traveling and it was great. We finally got home, and one of the first things I wanted to do was clean, not because I was stressed, not because it was dirty. I loved the clean house, but it was, these are my things. And it feels good not to have to travel, wander, move. It felt good. And I started to appreciate my countertops and my floors and my bed. Yeah, especially my bed. But it's amazing how we can call something home. And my body was like, even when, you have people running around. Yeah, and when I was younger, my kids were pure love. And it's amazing how we have built ourselves to not like sound of joy, or the energy of love that wants to do things, and we got to control it. And why? Because our inner world of how we experience things, we're projecting it out, and we are seeing if we're going to do the exact same thing. Are you just a program? No, we're not. So what does spirit want? Spirit wants to express itself. Spirit wants to experience the limitations and then the endless opportunities. And we've kind of forgotten that we have these endless opportunities, that we can stand at a soul's choice point. We don't always have to wake up every single day, do the exact same thing and do it the exact same way and, solve the problem the exact same way and have the same issues all the time. And we're just getting tired of it. I mean, I got to the point that the negative energy was the same stuff every single day. I'm like, why do we keep rinsing and repeating this? It's like taking dirty laundry and using the same dirty water and the same soap that don't have any work anymore. You just like, okay, I've had enough. So how do you reconstruct or deconstruct or whatever you want to do? That's pretty much your life doing the same thing, which is why I hate it here in this area. So you have gotten to the point where you're like, I'm ready to move. Question then, why am I not moving? It usually has to do with the spiritual issues that we have experienced. And when you start to let something new in, you have to be okay to lose your safety, security, stability, standing, surrounding space, which is your freedom. What do you mean? Well, when you start to take the journey of being love and finding what you love to do and finding what you love to be and to experience hardship, challenges, or whatever, but you do it with joy, you do it with because you become the resolver. There's a life that gets sparked, and you're like, ah, did you hear what I just said? It actually can be exciting. You don't have to live by certain rules, but you just live by your soul choice. You live by this energy of love and you live by being the resolver. It doesn't mean you have to have chaos every day, but you get to resolve in a certain way. Like, I know that this room is getting ready to get cleaned again, not because it needs just cleaning, but energetically, something needs to shift. And I'm just going to sit here and back and envision reality and say, what needs to be changed? What no longer serves me? Which means you'd have to get rid of, declutter, throw things away, whittle it down, because your outer world is saying, yeah, your inner world, you've done some work, you're ready to have it match. So what do you want to change? What do you want to get rid of? What do you want to do? Do it because you want to, not because somebody else can't stand your crap. Get them out of your space. Go on. I had to change who I was, not for anybody, but to go, why do I become less than? I'm going to change that. Why is it that I always have to serve and nobody, helps me cooperate and change these values, change these beliefs, change the root, you change the way the future is going to show up. So your soul can help you in so many ways. My main reason is mostly money, but then this is where you can say, you don't have a car to move out. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. Show me. And this is how Spirit has shown me. I mean, I used to go, I'm looking at the outside and these are my limitations. No, no, you know what? My heart and desire, and I changed my value. I'm ready to move and live. And thank you, Spirit. How do I do it? So you can sit back, vision reality, and say, thank you, Spirit, show me. And things will start to change. And you start to follow your love, or you start to follow, you put life and emotion into movement. Like me studying what I do and knowing that I'm going to be sitting here one day leading. I didn't think that was in the cards. Even though somebody told me it was in the cards, I'm like, but that came later. I'm alive. The purpose. There's a purpose, not just to get up and to, I mean, when I was letting emotions get to me and I was depressed most of the time, I just turned and I said, thank you, Spirit. You have to show me something greater than this. You need to help me get over this personality. You need to show me what I need to do because I don't, and I can't get out of this oblivion. Then all of a sudden it was like, you're pregnant. I'm like, no, that's not the cancer, not to take care of another one. But it did. It gave me life. It gave me, I got out of this because all of a sudden I went into mama bear, was very protective and all of that. And then it's like, okay, now I'm out of that stage. And Spirit says, you have a voice, you use it, you do what you love. And so I started to do what I love. And I would have people, I had to be okay that I didn't have to hear, why do you wear your hair like that? Oh, shouldn't you lose some weight? Oh, you shouldn't write like that. Oh, that just sounds stupid. Shut up. Let me develop my skills. Let me decide where, if it sounds right to me, fine. Let me do my education. Let me realize that I need to learn how to spell or do grammar or how to speak. I used to have, oh, fear, oh, no, so, pause, take a breath, get reconnected. So I practiced. I put the theory into practice, and then I put theory into practice into flop, which you would call failure. But flop means, oh, I just went over here, this parameter as far as I can go. I'm going to try it this way, go to this parameter. And what I do is I found out I was sculpting. I was sculpting myself like you would a body. But I wasn't cutting things out because you were annoyed or they were upset or they didn't like. I answered to me, my soul. And when they said that they didn't like it, Spirit goes, you're changing how you show up to them, and that messes up their reality. You're not responsible for that. You're responsible how you send your energy out, but you're not responsible if you're changing and you're getting more into that space of love. What's happening? And the more I stayed true to who I am, the more I would get people complaining, got mad, want to change me, call me stubborn. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to argue anymore because you're not listening. So I need to go inside and say, what part of me is not listening? And as I started to do that, it took me right back to that choice point. And I thought, I don't have to follow the HERTZ, the hurts of negativity, shame, and guilt, because it puts me in this creating a negative world and living separate from my whole self. And I'm living just as ego. And you have to have your mask and you have to have, all of these things. And I'm like, no, that's just too much work. I called all my energy back and I sat at this choice point and I said, what makes me spark with love? This is breath to me. This is nutrition to me. Whether I've got 2 people watching, I'll honor that. Up to 100 million people watching, I'll honor that. I don't need my ego to go, oh, there's nobody there. Oh, there's nobody there. Why? Why try? I don't need to be in HERTZ, the hurts, the emotional hurts, the negativity emotions. So I will physically be hurt because later down the road, my feelings are hurt. I will feel in my body and maybe my joints will hurt. And no. Oh, I got to turn that on. I got to get the bigger screen. So now I got to find the bigger screen. Somebody wrote on I want to read it, but I'm at this choice point and that's not the right screen. Uh, And all I can say is I'm happy. My emotions are balanced. I learned how to master those, not by suppressing or anything, but by understanding that my cells are happier and taking nourishment when I don't have to define my world in such a negative way or limit myself so I could fit in everybody's world. I then said, I have to be okay with losing my family and friends because I can no longer force myself to live in an old life that I can't fit into it anymore. And so the more that I healed, the more the emotional baggage I let go of. And as I did that, I started in a different frequency. And Spirit says, when you do that, you've lost nothing but gained everything. And I own nothing, but I'm offered and given everything. And as I look around, I had come here with basically nothing, and now it's like, yeah, do I need any of this accumulation? Does it need to own me? I had this really nice scarf, and I didn't want to lose it, but I did. And then the next day, it's like, I could call this place, I know where it's at, but somebody needs it, I don't. It's no longer a part of who I was. And it's okay. There, my screen popped open. People said they have been dreaming weird. Pay attention to your dreams. Those that are in Lionsgate, they are important. So even if you can remember certain things, the last line, kind of check your emotions. Did you get it? Did you get what that was? Maybe that's it. Oh, I got it. Do you know what I mean? Somebody says, my home is where I know I'm loved unconditionally. And when you can find that spot in you where you're unconditional, is actually being love, and when you're experiencing life at an unconditional state, not conditioned, you're not leading by your ego, you're leading by this wholeness of yin and yang. And you you will be physically placed where you need to. So certain things need to be broken down. Some things need to just be cleaned up. Some things you just need to throw away. And some things you need to move towards. And this is where I say thank you, Spirit, because we are missing these signs. But if you engage at that choice point, thank you, Spirit, show me what I need to do. Spirit, what Spirit wants is to bring back that communication so that you can see all of the beautiful choices. Even if you don't quite understand them, there is a knowing that I'm going to go down this road, whether it's hard or easy. And what's funny is that the challenge that I was put through the last few days was you got to create a Lionsgate. You got to do a 3-day event. And I'm like, yeah, but there's no notice. That's ego. Thank you, Spirit. What do you want? Yeah, I can do this. If it's soul led, easy peasy. If my ego is going to lead, you're going to put yourself through a whole heartache, misery, all this, and complaining and be under pressure in such a way that it hurts. When I would get stuck, okay, Einstein, switched my thinking, allow my heart to be the resolver. And as I did, then back to soul led life, and it was boom, 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 done, done, done. And I had PDFs that I wrote, stuff like this, and it was just like, bam, whoa. I even gave them an extra bonus that they didn't even know I was going to give them. I didn't even know I was going to give them. After I got all done with the 3-day event, and, and then when I sat there, it was, did you, and I kept hearing that song, Under Pressure. But it wasn't bad. It was doing what I love and challenging myself to see it from another perspective. And I did it. That I can handle more. Not go, oh, great, thanks, boss, giving me more with less pay. That's no, you're ready. And there was one thing sitting in my spiritual body, and I'm like, okay, why can't I seem to lift this? And then all of a sudden, Spirit says, you can. If you can pass this, then you're really ready. And I'm like, whatever that is. And I think it's the skill building. I think it is like all of it. And I'm like, okay. So you balance, you sit at this choice point. And now my screen, here we go. So I hear April says, yes, an old coworker told me that I changed so much she didn't know who I was, and I was too happy. Yes, we can irritate those demons. We can irritate those things. And even though they sound like it's a bad thing, you're over here going, oh my God, I'm so proud of myself because I'm stepping into this love space so much more. I get to choose who's in my circle. Yes. And that's what's cool. Yeah. in a few minutes, if you are new here, you get a free reading, and if you want, you can pay. So we got 5, 15, and 25. 25 usually means you get to come on. So I'm very proud of you. It was an amazing event. I got stretched my abilities. And the meditation was kind of cool because there were so many things on each of the floor that we stopped at in the elevator. It was like, here's your gifts. Here is who you get to visit. And we got to dig back pieces. Oh, Steve, thank you for browsing. At least I know it's working to some degree. It's been not working, so I receive you. I'm learning how to receive with my feminine aspect. So happy to have you here. Let's see what we get to do today, because what does Spirit wants? What Spirit wants is to experience, to enjoy, to love, and to move forward in such a way that you don't have to feel like you're alone or you're limited or you have to hang out in the lower emotional hurts. You just don't. You can process those things out. I give soul codes all the time. I use the soul code healing all the time, and it feels wonderful. It feels wonderful. Okay. So we have one person that would like so they paid, so I'm going to give them a quick little read. I got to find out what she wanted. We have one person coming on with video. You know, the one thing about soul codes is that, yes, I brought them through so we could use them and see them, and they can get immediate results. But you have to do the work of starting to learn how to read spirit, connect to spirit, to sit there as a whole being and choosing how to do it without ego. Ego is that lens that you're meant to look at, and as you see through it and you're like, oh, I get it. But to wear the ego and only live in just that energy field, well, have you used you can say it's a mask, and from your perspective you're right, because I don't know if you've ever experienced what I'm talking about, but we have a whole other language here, and we've been using it, and we've been proving it, and we've been moving and breaking down on a physical level with using the body's energy fields, holding points on your wrist. So left wrist, second position, soft, helps you in holding this. This is what I call soul codes. And if you wanted to look at a particular thing, and it's like, what is left wrist, second position? Well, I would shut down my emotions. How do I know this in the world outside? Shoot, I do that when somebody's angry. But is this response to what I want? No. How do I know it? It's a 10. I do it all the time. Do you want to do it in the future? No. Grab your wrist. Left wrist, second position soft. Sit there, touch this point, these points, and sit there and breathe and feel how you know it. And you get to change, because the body and the cells all work together, and your cell will start to release the key of, I know the feeling of what it means to shut down. See, soul codes are different. I talk to the dead talk to me. I usually talk to the ones that are already on the other side. And then those that do need to go higher, I just hold a space and then refer them over to anybody that does it, which would be you. I'm helping people that are living and breathing as their over-identification, so that they can start living as a unified soul, a unified being, becoming a spiritual human. So you don't have to separate those energies in the physical. You don't have to, you just be in a different space. So my soul codes are to have a different definition. Experience it, understand it. So I'm going to go over to Autumn, and she was at the Lionsgate, and we did some healing, changed the way we seen things inside. That's your way. Coffee, plain old coffee. I gotta find the screen, or just tell me. You probably want what Spirit wants. What Spirit wants. Okay, so I'm going to read this quietly real quick. Oh, really? So you see the reflections? So your soul is reflecting that. Oh, awesome. Wow, you've been testing yourself with way you're so I'm curious. Um, you're looking out and you're like, oh my God, I see my grandma. And it's built in me the program that I'm in trouble. So and it when I'm in trouble when it pops up. Okay, good. I'm proud of you for seeing the way that you need to see. So that's amazing. So if I look, okay, they're bringing me one word, gaslight. So listen to the way the gestures are in the face, the body, the hands, and listen to the tone. Where are they putting? I always get this wrong. Intonation. Where have they put the emphasis on what they're saying? So as a soul, just sit back and go, okay, if you're supposed to show up as somebody from my past, my body already says, oh, I'm going to get in trouble. But now take it further. So as I look and you start to hear it, notice how the body wants to go, oh. So the first thing you're going to do is going to be L2S. Measure it. But when you're going to do this is that, okay, I don't know if it was dinner time or what it is, but you spent time with your grandmother. And what I got is that you would lose your voice, as that's what I'm feeling. But I feel, was she at a particular angle? Because when we look at how the energy flows, I feel like a very heaviness. So no matter where you're at, there's not a command. It's more like a demand, more like a gaslighting, more like, let me create the world for you. So do they have an opinion, whoever this person that's in front of you? Do they have an opinion? And are they trying to get you to say that there's something, okay, they know right and you're wrong, or they think you should do this, but they know you're not? Do you understand what I'm feeling this way? So they're telling me if you could stop and pay attention to, oh, when they would act like this, I would turn around and how would you respond? You would gaslight yourself. So then pay attention to, as you're holding, where do I gaslight myself with the same kind of facial or the tone or the intonation? Um, where is it I'm compromising and changing to fit the structure of how they want their world, my world to be? What you'll start feeling this automatic button that will be on this physical level. So when you're holding, I want you to pay attention and I want you to look at the direction. See, I'm looking here. Well, actually, I'm looking here, but I can see here in my peripheral, you have to do, because it's a very heavy energy and it's due. It's due. It's due. And so there's due sitting here and you don't need, your brain says, we already figured this out. We've already done this 1,000 times over. We don't have to go through A, B, C, D. We'll just say here, efficiency is to just do. So the body wants to do. And it doesn't really sometimes have words, but I want you to feel this automatic button that gets pushed. Okay. So as you hold that, I want you to then feel it again. There's I don't know if it's a posture because I'm watching like how busy they are. And there's this checking. Um, and I can feel you trying to take a breath in. And I'm being watched. I'm being policed. Do you see what I'm saying? That's what I feel. And so I would write down, because I feel like this is one of your big ones from the Lionsgate, that is ready to break up and you're ready to get your life force back. I'm looking at it in an emotional sense. And the emotion is not really an emotion as much as it was, this is what the outside did. These are my buttons. So I think you're getting ready to, oh, it's tone. Okay. If it's a tone, do ear switching. But there's something about this peripheral vision, and it feels like they keep telling me one direction. So for me, it's my right, but I feel like your male side of you has to protect instead of lead your life. Like the right, the male side is supposed to lead, and the left is supposed to receive. Well, the yin's not going to receive if the male part of you is protecting. And as soon as I did that, um, which hand is the one that's not functioning the way that you know it could? Because what I feel like is it took a zap. It took in, what did it take in? It took in this self-preservation. It took in, okay, yours, theirs. Was there a complication when you were being born? You know, was there a complication? Like some people come in breech, some people come in. Was there a complication? Just prior to that complication, I don't know if the mother was being chastised or if she just went into extreme fear, but I feel like there's this protection that I have to protect myself from the outside. Yeah, just begin there. And whatever pops, take note. Just learning to listen to that spirit, and then you'll get to the next level. That's what I hear. That's what I hear anyway. We have a chat, and she said, that spirit wants. Oh, you want to know if there's any messages of people that crossed over? All right, give me a minute. I don't know if it's called psychic, just someone that knows how to listen to energy. Mm, okay. She paid for a chat, so what's funny is that song I was telling you that I felt earlier for me. Well, I said, well, why is it that I'm hearing it for you? But as I hear it, the tone is different. So it's not necessarily sounding the same. It's the under pressure song. But it's instead of under pressure raining down on me and it feels so heavy, in this case, it's under pressure and it feels dull. And if I say, well, what is this? What are you trying to say? And I don't know who this person is, but I asked somebody because you got like, from what I can see, is 5 people. You can only have one person at the mic at the time. And I'm hearing that as a group voice, they said, the next thing is your body had to go into self-preservation. But the next thing is jealousy. So I think what your word is that you're going to write down jealousy, what you think it means, what is the spirit, go to dictionary. What does it look like? What's it sound like? Because you're saying is you are being more in the 5D world. This 3D? No, I'm done. And you have to let go of that emotional baggage to get to that next level. Because there's a little part of you, and I feel like it's your 3-year-old self that was in a state of jealousy. And part of its conclusion was fine. And then there's this limitation that you forced into place. That somehow is blocking the next thing you need to do, Miss April, because, okay, you're in a space so if you're sitting at your choice point, you're good. But when the body, and looking at the coccyx, the part of your tailbone, that energy field is conditioned. So then it sends a signal up to the brain about what you need to do next. And you don't need the body, in this case, to tell you. And so the body and you are out of sync. So what is it that she needs to address and to heal? There's a certain amount of stubbornness. So you would do soul code R1S. But I feel we need to tap. We got to go down to the coccyx, and tap on the spine on this. But I'm looking here and I'm trying to find out what is it they want me to. It hasn't stood out yet. It hasn't stood out yet. And so the reproduction system. So you want me to look. So there's something about, I put these self-imposed limitations on myself. There is a lot of sour graping. So if you start catching the talk or understand, so that could be your second word you need to, define is sour graping, because then that's left wrist, third position soft. 1, 2, 3, third position soft, okay? Look up sour graping. Now you would then tap your coccyx again as your once you understand the sour graping on the different levels. But there's something else here. You stop yourself from exerting your power. We're not talking about the age that you are now. We're talking about how you were leading your life and somebody came along. It's just a look. I mean, there's a strong, stern energy of emotion coming out of those eyes, and I think that is the ant. But you completely lost power, and I feel that you can't exert yourself the way that you wish. Okay, so now I feel like my head's hurting. I feel L3D on this. We're just going to say L3D. And you are going to also do the K27s. Now, don't just come in the spot. I want you to come down, and as you slide down, I want you to ankle up into the bone. Because the disconnect between the head and the body, and then you got the disconnect between the coccyx and the brainstem, that I think, because this one, I think what you have to do is in L3D is you're an object. And you don't want to be an object anymore. So you have like 3 different type of perspectives or aspects of personalities that are all trying to get the same attention to get their needs met. And you're like, but wait, there's only one April, and I need to stop being separated. Does that make sense? Because I said, well, which one came first? Well, it wasn't that they came first. They came about all the same time. Wow. Okay. So you really do feel like an object. So at one point you could be, let's say, at work or wherever, and felt like you're being treated like an object. But at the same time, you will then feel, what was your first word? I can't remember now. And then in the next second, you'll have to feel that. And then the next second, you feel the third one. So I want you to know that as you do your soul work, you write down these words, how you define them, and maybe an example or two will pop up. Now remember, if the left brain starts going off and trying to give you reasons, just stop, hold those points, the soul points that I was telling you about, and then reassess, because the one that feels like it's an object is like, I can't let go. But at the same time, it has an attitude of like, but they get to do it. So there's not envy as much as it's jealousy. Does that make sense? And I can't remember what the third one was. Hopefully you've wrote it down. Jealousy, sour graping. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, you understand. Good. Now, they all can go off at the same time, boom. But at the same time, you also will be sitting in that frequency, the hertz, the body will. And if you can start to tune in, and again, tap the spine so that it can release. Yeah, you're ready to make a big shift. That's good, in a very good way. But those are the three things that I see. So good job. Hopefully you woke up happy. Usually you are. Yeah. You get to choose your circle. I like that. All righty. I'm just looking at the next thing. So if there's anybody here that would like a free reading, this is where you can. Now we can talk about, where is it that your energy keeps repeating and you want that part to change so that you can create a better future. I don't do future readings. Your body is going to keep repeating the same story. So how you do anything is how you do everything until you go and you start to change and to tweak and to tone how those chemical peptides and your thoughts create your world, because you can change the structure of your mental thoughts by changing the emotions. Get those out of your cells. Okay. I was just reading what somebody wrote. Yeah, I'm happy to be part of your world with you and Uncle Fester. So there's an inside joke about that. So it's not bad words or anything. It's good. That's good. Oh, what do we got here? Again, you are here. This is not going to hurt anything. It is, what is it that you want to address? What is it? If you are just in over identifying with stuff and you're curious, then we can find a different question. All right. You have every opportunity to decide if you want your free reading or if you want to pay. That's up to you. I'm just going to go on to the next thing. Just be kind with yourself. There's a lot going on. And after the 12th, then kind of start resuming back to where you are with the new information and the ready for your soul to take the next level of energy to go where it needs to go. Can you be brave enough and strong enough? Do you have to be controlled by certain emotions and fear? Because fear should no longer be your leader. You should be able to take and get the perspectives and get back to unity. Well, you don't have to pay, Kate. It's up to you if you would want a particular reading. You can just let your soul just make the choice. I just grab a card or I don't even have to grab a card. I can just tell you, so let's make sure it's a smooth ride. What do you need to clear out? What is it that your soul wants you to address? That is up to you. I'm looking to get my next guest. And Ayme, are you ready? I will send you the link and you come over when you're ready. Oh, Autumn. So she kind of told me what she knows what happened at the time. So there was some stress at that point. Mm-hmm. A baby knows when it wants to be ready to come out. That's for sure. That's for sure. There you go. Don't beg. I'm grateful for your support. You got to get to know me, and that's good to know. We will bring on our first guest, and those of you who are on the other platforms will not be able to see her, but you will be able to hear her. And if you ever get a reading, you get to re-listen to it again from YouTube. Just notice that we will give you a timestamp, and it'll be the clock that's behind me. And then that way you can get to it before I can put all the deets in. Here she comes. Oh, here is Ayme. I got to get the right thing so I can see. Hi.
Hi.
I can hear you well. Wonderful, wonderful. So you got to do the Lion's Gate, and
Yes,
you enjoyed it.
I did. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my part in it, but I also enjoyed receiving the gifts from the meditation and all of the information about learning how we no longer have to carry the victim archetype as a
Yeah,
collective, which is
that's
huge.
so. Being that every day you make sure you smell your oil and you listen to spirit about how you know it and how you want to
Hmm.
change it out and how you don't want to be certain things. So we're going to get that wisdom. So paying attention to your dreams. How did you wake up? Happy, sad, glad, what?
I woke up happy. I woke up knowing that I needed to get coffee done and everything because our mornings are really busy.
But did it feel like stress? Did it feel like dread? Did it feel like
No, it wasn't stressful. It was just, okay, these are the things that I need to get done, but I was happy to do them.
excellent, excellent. So you starting to meet your choice point. And if it doesn't come naturally, then ask yourself, if happiness doesn't come naturally, you got to ask yourself, okay, so where have I left a certain part of my life force? And that's
Mhm.
still in an unresolved continued story. And you said you woke up with a dream, again, listening, because we're also building your intuition and from
Yeah. So it was really weird. It was like we were sitting in um the lounge and you had told me that I was going to dream about these three certain words and certain numbers. And so I was dreaming that I was dreaming about those those words and numbers, and I woke up going, I need to remember that. But the dream before that, I don't remember the dream, but I remember that it was one of those you got to pee dreams. But I was able to release in the dream, which usually never happens. It's like
right.
you can't find the bathroom, you can't go. But I was able to release in the dream, and then I woke up and went to the bathroom.
Oh, thank
So,
goodness.
and then yeah, no, nothing bad happened. Um, but it was like, so then I put it into chat like I normally do because of the way that we do things.
Right, right,
And
right.
it was about um letting my subconscious was able to let go of something that no longer served so that I can bring in new information.
Good, good. And when you start to realize that this is all connected to the Lionsgate, the energy of becoming and releasing and the purpose. So I'm just going to take and um, just do what I do best here and not have to explain myself. Just give me a second. So what I'm searching for is in my soul cards, I'm looking at your dream. I'm looking at where are you at since the Lionsgate and the particular topic. So you're doing integration, calibration, and merging two frequencies and balancing two timelines. Um,
Wow.
just on the based on what you told me, right? Knowing the fact you also did the Lionsgate and you were releasing the victim, the collective a way that it has to be. So the numbers and words represent all the new codes, the coordination, the sequencing markers, and the memory anchors. So you're recalibrating by the way you changed those emotions, took the emotion out, and you are hearing yourself differently. You are presenting yourself and at the choice point and learning to know the difference between being ego and spirit. So you're in the knowing. And so as you are downloading the new recalibrations, you didn't need to know what the numbers and the words were, but you're saying, I'm learning to receive. I'm receiving this. I'm doing this. And as you woke up, you have this compulsion to remember it, which means you've downloaded. That's a download. You downloaded. That's it. Simply point. Now, but you downloaded it in the mental body and the energetic body. So as the second time, you part where you had to pee, you had to sync up and release the old codes, okay, from the physical. And as I looked, you have this signal interference. as you're having signal alignment. So the emotional body says, you know what, we don't need this fear anymore. Let's release it. So you had to get up and you did it successfully in your dream, which means that you could get up and successfully let go of that fear, and by doing a physical action. And you're fleshing out these old frequency codes of victim residue. Okay, for the victim frequency residue. So they literally are connected to what you've been doing in the last few days. The other thing I can see is that physically is that yes, you're letting go of scarcity, burden, being responsible for everybody, being the one who holds everything together, being the one who gets drained. You're saying, I don't want to do that anymore. You're releasing the physical body victim imprint, which is good. So now instead of being happy and joyful and you got moved off into a new benchmark, you're clearing this out and you're getting that life force back to go into this benchmark. Does that make
That's
sense?
so cool. Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Um, I think you'll have a new person in your dream. Not necessarily romantic, but you're going to have somebody that's going to be collaborating, guiding, an ally, a timeline partner. But this person, it's weird. Okay, so they're saying this person in the lounge, the lounge is like a waiting room between timelines. Okay, so that's why the lounge was present. So right now you're in between cycles. So I think after the 12th, you're going to be more recalibrated and aligned, and a new frequency is going to come out from you. So your inner world's going to create a new outer world, but they're going to be more aligned with the new codes you have. So the mental, the emotional, energetic, and the physical body. So those particular four bodies, yeah, you're really just saying, okay, I've transisted, but now you have to wait for the rest of everything to be recalibrated around you, not necessarily in you, but the way the world is
Okay, that makes sense.
good, 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 good. Well, then let's just find out if there's anything particular that you need to help that. What part do I need to play? Sit back, or what do I need to heal? Pay attention is what the first thing is like paying attention. So you're not going to pay attention the old way, which is just ego, where your body's going, oh my God, I'm scared. I got to do this. I got to do that. Blah, 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 blah. Your body says, I'm paying attention to the new frequency. So that means you're going to have to say, thank you, Spirit. Show me in a way the new things that I can't quite hear yet. Thank you with grace and ease. Because your yellow brick road is very much, you're standing on it, and it can only illuminate as you begin to create soul movement. But you are on it. The question is, do you need to feel overwhelmed? So check in with your little that says, no, I can't go against anything my mother. Wow. I just have to tell you this strange experience I just had. As I feel your parent, your mother, someone here saying to you, your yin is stepping forward a little bit more because I have a Buddha up here, a Buddha head, and I got a Jesus head. I got heads, faces, right? This one is a candle holder, and its eyes just opened up and turned its head and looked at me when it was about you. Okay, I will say I know that's an imagination, but I'm kind of freaking a little because it felt really like I could hear the sound of the ceramic. Now it's just back to its picture. Oh my God. Your mom is giggling. I think she has found a new way to communicate.
I love it.
I don't know if I'm ready for it, but maybe I am. But it says,
Mom, don't
oh,
freak Brenda out. Don't freak me
it's
out.
funny. Instead of me saying I'm afraid of being bold, it says fear is being bold. And I'm like, so fear does not have, fear is being bold, and I'm supposed to believe it with fear. But if I don't believe it in fear and understand it as a symbolic thing, oh, then I can see differently. Oh my God, am I bringing in a new thing as I'm giving you a reading? What the hell?
Yep. Yeah.
I can feel my body wanting to resist. Hopefully, I don't know what I got in here, but we're gonna find out. Tastes like water. Tastes like damn water. How's that possible? My body, I think is my body freaking out? No, I'm mimicking something. So oh, I'm starting to shake. Your inner world is projecting something I need to look at for you. And that is, you believe as you step into who and what you're going to be and are in your safety of your inside your head or in front of us, you are going to be stepping into a world where you are going to take command. Are you going to stomp in like the ego and stomp on everybody like an elephant? Or are you going to gracefully show up as your feminine that's very strong, and your male side is going to lead? And I hear, yes, this is what she can do. And she doesn't have to chase anymore. You got to change that thought. Stop chasing. Yes, do your part and then say, okay, thank you, Spirit, show me. And then just start to receive. And then if you catch yourself chasing, you need to do L2S, because getting what you want can be scary. But at the same time, this is why it's easier just to chase it. Because when it finally, like, oh, I will beat up this criminal, I will do whatever. Okay, fine. What if you catch up to it? Will you follow through? Will you, or you're just talk? Are you going to really be able to karate chop them, or you can you physically match your words? And so you're at the point where it's like, I got to stop rejecting so I can actually magnetically receive. Right now, I have to chase, so I have to keep rejecting because I can't have it. It's the same thing as saying, I'm happy. And then grandma comes along and starts yelling at me, and I put away my happiness. I put on the mask and I become who she wants me to be. And so every time you start to pop out, you reject yourself and put on the mask of what you're supposed to be. And they're saying that's where you have to look at and say, no, I'm going to own me. I'm going to put this energy, I'm going to bring this energy instead of having it to be there. I am magnetically, so somebody could be looking like they're blocking and you can't receive.
Mm.
Fine, receive around them. Watch the energy go around them. And you're like, yeah, well, they block that too. Fine, make it go through them. Remember, it's just an illusion. You don't have to believe in fear. Just got a lot going on. I want to have a headache and I want to try to adjust. It's like, So the energies are rejecting. And in this point will hopefully help her go, I can feel where I've like have my limitations. So just breathe them through. Not necessarily have to be true at all. Breathe it through. I feel a lot of sluggishness, like uncertainty. The body, where in your body is said that was me, and but now I can't be me, and I have to self-soothe myself in accepting the rejection and that I failed so that they're happy. Ooh.
Oh, I got a text last night I never told you about. I'll have to show it to you.
Oh, okay. It's coming up in this healing, so let's look at it.
Um, an acquaintance of mine, I have volume on somewhere, um, had gotten what I have been sending out
Okay.
and thought it was a scam, reached out to me, and the way that the little or whoever received that part of me that received it was they just threw away my life is
Oh my
what.
God, totally. As soon as you said that on my screen, you completely disappeared. They
I
threw
did, didn't I?
away my life and came up. And all I saw was a backdrop. Okay. Okay, between that thing and that thing, just give me a catch up to you here. So I want you to explain that, but not yet. I want you to go back to the beginning of how the body rejected something or felt them reject something. Ooh, breathe it in and out because
It was kind of like the oh shit feeling, but not as strong. It was like a slight bit of that, but not as strong as when I was a little kid and it was like my whole body like froze. It was like, yeah, no, I don't have to follow that.
So you basically said that they did what with your life? Threw
Threw it
away?
away. Hmm.
Okay, so now tell me, was it with words?
It was the intention behind it. They said, oh, well, I deleted it.
So you're asking for help with your yin or your yang? I feel like you're asking for help because so everybody knows if you want to support her, you can. She just a person that said they won't, they that is it okay to talk about that?
Yeah,
So that person said, no, I won't support you in that.
yeah.
Okay. Did they give you any other words of advice? Their 2 cents, their
No,
thing. They didn't even
no,
say, oh, I'm sorry you're going through it.
no,
So you did a big
not
thing,
really.
stepping up because okay, so what she's going through, and I have permission from her, is that her life has been changing. She knows it. She can't live in the way that she's been living, so she went and saved up her money and decided to travel. And then she was getting ragged on for you're wasting your money to go out and travel. And she goes, no. And so then she started following her soul, and then she came over to Australia. And everybody says, well, your life is a mess because you are not following all the rules that says you're supposed to be a wife, you're supposed to be this, you're supposed to be that. And she goes, no, that part was already done and gone and a long time ago. And everybody's like, no, I'm going to tell you because this is what's true because I see it. And she's like, but you're not living it. And people she loves are like, you're doing it wrong. And she's like, no, I'm not. And so what she got was divorce papers that was forced by an outside family. And well, she had an ask. She asked Spirit years ago, hey, I'd like to not be married because this was an arranged marriage and I'd like to have a life. And nothing wrong with the person. It's just that they not meant to fit together. And so now it's an emergency divorce because it's like she's stuck over here. There's time differences. There is the hope that because she's traveled, that she won't have any money to fight to get any of her stuff. So they pretty much want to screw her over. And it's like, no, I would like to at least have my own stuff. And so she's had to put out a GoFundMe and she's already starting to realize, I think, that she can't rely on family. And she,
Mm-mm.
people that were living in a certain way of being, she doesn't think that way anymore. And they're telling her, no, you just need to go put your feelings back down, go kiss and make up and live this type of life. And she's like, can't. And so she needs help to get this divorce. And it costs money to get a divorce, but she doesn't want to see the rest of her life where she's, going to have to live without a house, or live without a job, or live without, because restrictions. So, anyways, if any of you got a few dollars here and there, the GoFundMe, look for Ayme Schmalls. Um, ask me about it. I'll send you the link. But notice how crushed you feel that you can't even. So this acquaintance, is it more of a bloodline or is it or friends of
Childhood friend.
a childhood friend? Okay, and you're crushed because you thought that they would understand. Do
Yeah.
you d can you tell if do you know if they've gone through certain things like this?
Yeah, they have.
But it's not okay for you to do it.
Nope.
So what I want you to understand is your inner world is it's okay for everybody else to do it, but not me. It's okay that my brothers get to do everything, but not me. Feel the child in this belief system, this where you left a chunk of your life force, and it's holding this belief system. And the type of value in this case is that you are supposed to miss out. What's important to you is you don't want to miss out, but you can't help but to start. I always have to miss out. So where's the words? So bring up your 5-year-old.
I can't have it because I'm not a boy.
Very good. So I want you to switch over to R1S, and I want you to feel the rules of that particular era and how they grew up and how you can't do it because you're not a boy. And there's a part of you that's like, see, this is the part that I'm hearing is like my friend, I feel like that friend might be female. Well, she can do it. And yet I'm still being held by the same standards as I was as a kid. And this is just you as a child that says they get to do it. I can't. And the words, the way they came out is that you're used to hearing yourself at 5. They just threw away your words. They threw away your life. They threw away. They aren't going to support you because so feel the rawness that I could not be supported by people I thought loved me. They would rather put me in my place, shame me because they can do it, I can't. So this comes from the world as do as I say, not as I do. Feel the hypocrisy.
I just heard I don't want to do it anymore because they don't care, that they don't hear me.
Right. Now notice how that's what we needed to go right there. Notice how the little girl has separated herself from spirit, went into desperation, emptiness, loss, and giving up. I want you to notice, ask this little girl, do you really need their support for you to be happy? What is it she wanted approval?
Love.
Love. So where see she's saying she's stuck on this. It's like I got a jar full of kindness. It's filled to the rim. It's a big ass jar. And I have this teeny tiny, little tiny, less than a shot glass that has one bad thing in it. And now I'm supposed to throw this whole jar away that is full of kindness and only focus on the pain and the suffering in that moment. Ask her, can you let that go? She's staring at it. What number is it?
8.
Tell her, say, look, you have a big jar next to you where you got tons of support. You're looking at the one thing you can't have, and you don't know how to pacify yourself. It's just like that pacifier. You're only looking at the one thing you're thinking that you have to have in order to be happy. And everybody has all control over it but you.
So what I saw was she's looking at the shot glass. She wants that shot because she knows that it'll hit faster. But then there's this big tall glass of ale. And I'm like, she's like, is that better?
We don't really stand for underage drinking. But the example is as she's an adult and her little is looking, going, wait a minute, you mean so the analogy
She's wrestling between something that will be quick, which is the pain,
yeah.
and
Ah,
not understanding that the love is longer lasting and it's bigger. And
Very good.
she's looking at that going,
Put all
you
her
mean
eggs,
I don't have to have that little bit
right?
and I can have a lot?
So notice how she is so super hyper focused that all that support's going to come from this person. And because she didn't get it, she has to dismiss this person, this person, and this person, and this person that's ready to give it or has been given it. But she's like, no, no, no. I want this. So this person may have wrote you and it hurt, but you're only looking at getting in touch with your little that says, I'm hurt. And you can't have anybody show up except for how you memorized it and got stuck with your life force there. She needs to really feel the peak of that pain.
And she's picking up the shot glass and dumping it down the drain.
Good.
Hmm.
And I'll tell her to take her power back off of, so have her do a chord switch with these people. If she, does she know who hurt her? It could be mom or dad behind the glass. I want her to take her, notice that she doesn't want to have to super focus on them, but she's going to take back her energy where all that pain is and say, wait a minute, this is mine. And then all of the stuff that they put on her saying this is who she has to be, she's going to take that off, measure it, take it off, put it in the treasure chest. And you're going to take back what they took from you. You're like, but you got my stuff. I'm taking my energy back. Pull it through the purple heart and the dancing violet flame. Feel your life force returning and saying, why do I have to be on this first answer, this first conclusion, this first? Why? Why? I don't. But why? Let go of the why. Just start going, yeah, I don't need to get approval from, my whole life does not have to depend on, and now, and there you go. Keep going back and forth. Keep measuring.
I'm hearing I don't have to keep up with the Joneses.
No, you don't. It's pretty good insight. So if I look and if I say, what number do you think you are? What are you at?
It's about a half right now.
Ooh, shift.
Hmm.
And when you get done, you're going to put yourself into that seventh plane of energy so that the little can feel it. You're going to hold that position and then you're going to look at your little until she then mimics where your hand positions are for the seventh plane. Let her mimic. Let her say, this is the seventh plane. Put it out there. Let her feel it. And then when you start to notice that she's copying you, say, hold that. Because as our one friend said, was I was going into chaos until I held my point to get in the seventh plane and it all disappeared.
It's like those videos where somebody's going down the slide, but then they go back up the slide. The video goes
Forward
backwards
birth.
and then go
Yeah.
back up this. That's what I felt. I felt her like going back up the slide to the seventh plane. She knows what it is.
Excellent. Excellent. So what you need to do as far as your soul work for this next part of the Lion's Gate is about looking up the word timid and shy. What do you feel? And as far as defining it, I would like you to recall your littles, including the 5-year-old. Recall the part that got the shadow. Ask the shadow part, since you can't be you, what is your definition of what a being timid and shy is? And then ask the mask part about it. And so once you do those 3 parts, and then you, as the adult, define it, look at what you agree upon, then go look it up. ask and the AI about what does it sound like, what does it look like, what does it feel like. And I think what's going to happen is you're at a point now where because you're going to do the effort, you're going to start to not just change the definition, but you're also going to start changing the belief system and the value system.
Oh no, you froze on me.
Uh-oh. Well, it's recorded, thank goodness. And if it's recorded crappily, I will put it up because I am recording it. Okay. So you got some homework to do. All right. So how do you feel before and after?
Hmm.
Before when you
Um,
thought about that text?
it Yeah, it's just the way that this person is because they are very religious.
Okay. Now here's the other thing. Do you want to go all that hard work you've been doing with your heart, your soul, and love? Do you want to give all that up so you can fit in the world where you may only talk to them? How often do you talk to them in a year?
I think I've made sometimes we go years without talking.
Okay. Why is that shot glass so important to have? That acceptance.
It's not. It's an old belief that you have to hang on to every little nugget of what is perceived as love.
Very good. Very good. So you reached out, or they reached out to you because they were old and familiar, but that's not who you are anymore. You don't have to
No.
constantly say, how do they do it? How do they do it? I better form myself, spit myself. You are now meant to step up as the leader instead of just protecting. You're the leader, and that's what your yang is meant to do, is to give this lead. And the female's need part of you needs to receive, and she needs to know that she can take the ideas and she can bring it in this harmony. So you're going to be meeting the choice point a lot. Do your homework, and when you get to that choice point, you're going to have a lot better answers instead of
Hmm.
just going, okay, I've been here, done that, and I'm always going to choose hell. No, not this time. You don't have to.
No,
So,
I don't have to.
yeah, now notice how your energy feels good. That's excellent.
Yeah, yeah, it's like all of those parts that are were in such dread of what's going on. Um, it's like, no, it's all gonna be okay.
Good. And even though you have to go through what you got to go through with this divorce, the question is, do you have to go through it as pain and suffering?
No,
And do you have to see the unknown as fearful?
no.
So spirit can step up and find how to do it with grace and ease and get it done. Good.
Yes,
Good. All right.
absolutely.
I hold that space that it's already done. I can feel us having dinner and joking and laughing. That, wow, that was an experience, but you're talking about it after the fact in a very happy,
Hmm.
healthy. Yeah, I'm going to hold that space for you. All right. Good job. Keep healing, keep growing, and proud of you. And I love you very much. We'll see you in tribal tomorrow. Okay.
Love you too. Yes, absolutely.
All right. Bye. You do not have to sit there and suffer. Oh, thank you. Suffering is now an actual option. You have to start bridging your little with your you have to start bridging between matter and spirit, and you are becoming a spiritual human, but you have to build this bridge. You have to lay a healthier foundation. You have to gather your life force from all these unresolved continued stories. And as you get that life force back and you resolve it in a certain way with spirit, what happens is you start to have this new way of feeling and thinking, and your life force has the wisdom, and you start to see different levels of perspectives in such a way that you're going to start to, instead of just being a novice, you're going to be in mastery. And it has, and your authentic self and is just going to be there. And you got to decide if this person, you're reflecting out, they don't like it. What part of you didn't like when you saw people in that leading, and you're then going to judge yourself for using your voice, your choice. You can heal. Ah, wonderful. Thanks for being a fan. And remember, if you're new here, you can sit back and do what you need to do and watch. But when you're ready, you can have a free healing, yeah, or a free reading, however you choose to do it. But start listening to your soul and start taking the choice of I'm doing this. I'm going to live my life my way in much more healthier manner. I'm going to look around. How you guys doing in the rooms? Talk to me. I'm going to look and see Pam that says what spirit wants. I think you're probably in this room, so let me know where you're present so I can communicate with you. And you kind of want to know or don't healing. Okay, from the Lionsgate. So yes, you were in the Lionsgate. We're gonna continue. I feel spirit is it's not just a progression, but it's like what kind of like homework, soul work that you're ready to do. So once I find out what room you're in, then I can communicate with you a little bit more. Um, where is she? Because sometimes people step out to go to the bathroom or get some water. And I know if they're here, then we just work with them. All right, I'm going to double check this room, which means I have to come over here to see it. Oh, it's not showing up on the screen at all. There she is several times. Okay, I see you now. Don't know why it's did that. All right, Pam, here we go. You wait for next time? Okay, so she might be gone. Or I can give you the reading and then you can listen to it. Oh. Yeah, your choice. From what I can see, you are doing a lot of interesting things. So she says, I'll wait for next time. Okay, so oh, she might be already gone. I'm gonna take a picture of these on the floor. It sounds so I'm gonna take a picture of the cards that are all for Pam, and I think Pam, because it was late, had gone to bed. So let me just oh my God, how am I gonna get all these on the screen? Um, of course, some of them I'm not gonna be able to pick up because they are the down cards. Okay. Oh my God, we got some hidden cards. Oh, we have hidden cards. Oh my goodness. I might have to ask simplicity here. When spirit, I didn't just drop cards. I've learned in the past that if there's a big message, then it has to be so uniquely arranged that, oh my God, she's got another layer of hidden cards. Whoa. So that story continues. So we got several stories here. And then this one, good thing she's paid for this one. This is a doozy. All right, now I can start to flip them over. Those were on that one, those are on that one, and all right, now I can. Wow, that's a fun. I'd like to just say, hey, I dropped cards, but like I said, I've learned in the past, and there's water all over my floor. Um, I've learned in the past that may be a lot of cards, but there's a story going on here. Why is there so much hot water on my floor? I gotta dry my cards out now. Save it for next time. Yeah, yeah, maybe so. Whew. All right, let me just double check if it. Yeah. I don't even remember how many cards she had. Let's see how many cards that this. Quite a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 23. And is this all about, well, how many things? She's doing 4 things and it's all about deficiency. So the caption is deficiency. She's doing four things, four particular perspectives, and it's all about deficiency. So Spirit told me I can actually, once I understand what all these cards mean, then I can put them in coherent sentences for her. Because I don't, this soul deck has nothing to do with like, it's just, trust me, it's a whole different kind of deck. It has to do with yin yang, has to do with meridians, and you name it. Oh, all right. So you two are making friendships. That's good. Love it. That's wonderful. Check here. That looks good as well. Thank you for coming today. I'm just double checking again. The question that we have, and maybe we can sum this up. And again, the question is, what does spirit want? Some people will say, well, how do you define spirit? Some people won't even ask that. So when I say to spirit, what does spirit want? Spirit is your higher self. It is connection with your soul. It's spirit and matter. So what does spirit want? It is consciousness. So what does it want? It wants to express. It wants to be. It wants to, experience. But spirit can't interfere with free will once you have entered into your state of separateness. But if you were to keep yourself separated, then the question is what does spirit want? Um, or if you're in that state of separateness and your human part goes, well, that spirit out there wants. So it is saying that there's another spirit, it's this and that. So how do you define the word spirit? And again, I'm coming from bridging yourself to becoming spirit into matter. Oh, you're here. Excellent. Okay, okay, excellent. All right, so I will do you a favor and break down all those cards that spilled on the floor, and I'll make some sense of it. But while you're here, Spirit is all like super excited. Do you have like it's a strange name, or maybe it's a nickname, but pay attention. There's an ant, like an Aunt Flossie. It's not really a name. It's like how somebody shortened up the name. So I feel like a really strong feminine energy, Pam, that is like oh my God, it's very strong energy. So again, it may not be Aunt Flossie, but it's a feminine. It feels like it's more of an ant, and as far as like the bloodline goes, and or you may have called someone Aunt, but there's a nickname. Okay. It could be a private joke, but they're telling, there's a martyr syndrome. So you grew up in a particular time where you're supposed to do martyr talk. So one of your soul works is martyr. Okay. I'm having a hot flash. So I'm assuming that this has to do with hormones and you're getting a particular age. So as I'm looking where you little and saw one of your aunts go through. Yes. So you saw someone go through menopause when you were young. Something stuck out in such a way, and what is sticking out? This has to do with having to constantly self-justify. Okay, so here's the question. Have people judged you? Because I don't know if you've ever been married or not married, or have no kids or have kids. How do you understand what I'm saying? They will like, oh, I have a checklist. Oh, I haven't seen you in a while. Are you married? Do you have kids? Oh, what kind of job do you have? Yeah, there's a checklist that says that whether you're a good person, a bad person, or you made it or whatever. And I feel like your party is like, I'm getting tired of self-justifying my choices. Yeah, done. And I feel like you saw somebody that when you were growing up, I don't know whether I think you heard the word spinster. Now, I feel like that was considered a bad thing. If you look up what spinster is it's not. It's a wealthy woman that chose not to go down the road of that dang list, right? So if I ask spirit a little bit more, and the one thing I'm getting from this person, this energy field, has a lot to do with the thing besides murder. because I think that is connected to the victim collective we've been working on. And so I'm going to look this up. This makes sense. What I feel. Yeah, you had to feel like you had to self-justify for your choices, and there has to be what, some guilt and shame. So let me see what this comes up. So where you are, so you woke up the next day, this is what's happening. Oh, wow. So you're getting a epiphany that wants to come through. So you're not fighting other people anymore. You're not fighting the internal voice that learned to self-justify, apologize, and shrink and self-blame. You are, I don't want to say in a state of conflict, but your soul is saying, wait, wait, wait. I don't have to do this anymore. I don't have to be in self-defense, have mental battles. I don't have to, even though this way of being feels like conflict, and that I get to see, as my soul says, can you heal it now? How I did it. I had to self-justify. I needed to avoid the shame. I had to be the hero in my head. I had to avoid guilt. I had to, a need to prove I'm not wrong. And so this battle, I don't need your permission. I feel like you got a great awakening beginning to happen. So this is an internal war because you have chosen to say, I want to learn about victim consciousness and I'm ready to let it go. Oh my gosh, tell me if you understand this, if I need to explain a little bit more. Did you ever in your life ever hit the poor me stage? Okay. Apologizing for your existence, explaining your decisions, shrinking your needs, feeling guilty for wanting freedom, feeling shame for choosing yourself, expecting backlash for speaking your truth. This is you going, I don't need the poor me. This was just a template of how I over-identified with matter, and this is part of the storyline. But what if I chose to release the guilt and the shame? And so I think it's what it is you're detoxing, and you're going to hold L2D because you're starting to realize I don't need to be the template of regret. I understand I had to understand these perspectives, but so I feel like L2D will be your soul code and really get into regret. I'm supposed to live wait a minute, you're saying I put a mask on of regret because that's the way yes, and you don't need that anymore. You don't need to do the poor me. You don't have to do it because this, whoever Aunt Flossie is, I'm just going to call it that. But you watched it as a kid that that's what you're supposed to do because of your life choices. So anytime you start to measure it with the word guilt, really focus. And then Nina. Ooh, ooh, yeah. Okay, so then you're also going to look at shame and you're like, but that's the language if I wasn't connected with love. So that means the fear. Yeah, no, 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 you don't get to rule. Okay, don't argue too much, but go in to drop into the feels and then feel the physical body saying, I can release this now. Feel the physical body and the mental body and the emotional body going, whoa, 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 I don't have to believe my own left brain's BS. No, done, done. Because the body, from what I can feel, your soul says we had to bring up any old wounds, old patterns, old fears, and old survival strategies and realize that you're already safe and you don't have to believe the BS of that I feel unsafe and that I'm doing it wrong. No, I'm doing it right. And you know that as you keep, your body says, I'm a fear that I'm going to repeat the past, but your soul says, I'm going to take you to, you just keep saying, thank you, Spirit. And you're going to look at this choice point and you're going to go, oh, I don't have to believe this bone BS. This is negative. This is fear. And so you are learning you're not in the battle with anybody. The old version is still feel like it's in charge. And you get to look at yourself as your phoenix, and you get, oops, and you get to look at yourself and you get to go, oh my gosh, I see how I self-justified and apologized for everything and carried everything and stayed silent and stayed small. But I don't have to. I can release this because these are the old dynamics. And you get to look at the rules and the limitations and go, I take my power off of them and I take them out of me and I put them in the treasure chest. So do the chord switching. And then I'm going to walk away. If you don't know where the chord switching is, go look over at Medicine Woman Soultion. That's Soultion, and put in, um, look under healing tools, and it should be, you'll see a whole big page for the alphabet, and then you'll see a C where it says chord switching. Yeah, this is a huge one. Yeah, because the word was very strong, like it was a dirty word, but it's not. Wealthy sounds good, exactly. But through the years, it lost its beautiful meaning and was used as a tool. And there are going to be people. Okay, I'm just going to give you a forewarn. The more that you release all these vibrations, people are going to go, "You've changed. Oh my God, that's bad energy, right? You need to show up." And then they'll, "Oh, I miss you. Oh, you're not." They will want their world to stay the same. And they can only see that you've changed. And therefore, you have to go back to who they defined you as. And this is why I said you have to be okay to lose your family and friends. This is why I said, what does spirit want? And when you realize that how you define spirit and you're connecting with your spirit to become matter, being that spiritual human, it's not how the outside works. It's not how you have to change that inner program. And once you've really hit that completion of healing, those people that you think that you have to give up your life for to keep your yellow brick road is going to say, but what about all these people? What about all these other beautiful options? No, be done with that. Take your power back, remove the limitations, and start to live your fullest. Yeah, since I went through the oh, I gotta have the bigger screen, the bigger screen. I have noticed because of this meditation, a lot of the people's yin and yangs are starting to dance beautifully. Yes, I went through the different route, male energy, strength, good math and science, tomboy, nothing wrong with that, nothing wrong with that. And at the same time, that male's leading. Now you can allow yourself to receive that feminine. That feminine can receive. I think you have a beautiful life. I mean, yeah, exactly. Yes, yes, I want to let that go. Yes, explain to why I'm ashamed. Yeah, no, no. Be the example for the next beautiful person that's like, I don't want to be in this boat. And then all of a sudden they're looking and they're like, well, you're not. Oh, when people look at the change, these people that are meant to see it are those new parts of yourself that are like, so how are you going to do it? So I kept thinking, okay, I got to keep myself small. I shouldn't do this. And I thought, no, if you are in a situation that's toxic, you don't want to do it anymore, be brave enough to get up, take your energy field, to collapse that old one and move forward, because you may be the example for the next person that gets stuck in a form of abuse in some form. And they'll remember you and go, no, she's a catalog of life. And I'm going to do, yeah, she did it. I can do it. Because once somebody does it, then all of a sudden it can start removing the limitation. And because you would not no longer feel like you have to carry that poor me, guilt and shame, you are going to vibrate completely different. And your male and female part of you are really going to be strong. And that's what I feel. So like I said, I will look at the cards and I'll ask Spirit if we haven't answered it here, then I'll see if there's anything else that needs to be given to you, or whatever. And we'll talk about that and travel tomorrow, because I feel like the next month is going to be really heavily duty on healing out stuff and moving yourself in a very, remember that last part of the gate where we got onto the yellow book road and we stepped into our mansion? I feel like Yeah, that's what you guys are going to be doing. Good job, Pam. Woo! You must have, did you do the meditation again? Did you do it once or how many times have you done it? Because I feel like you got stacked rings on stacked rings that is in harmony. I mean, you're changing the timelines, the codes, and you're every part of you is accepting it. This is this is awesome. Oh my God, I'm so proud of you. Oh, sheesh. That is awesome. Because there's a time delay. We're just gonna wait. Hopefully she'll answer that she's how many times she's done the meditation. She's paid for it, so she can do it as many times as she wants. Do it every night before bed. I have older meditations that are free if you want. You can look and do them anytime. You don't have to wait for the Lion's Gate. You step into that intention of time, no matter what space you're in, and you can start moving mountains. So these older videos don't mean anything except for I'm going to get in alignment. I'm ready to start to live my best life as a spiritual human. Up to you. It's up to you. Did anybody else do the meditation again? I feel like I'm going to be doing it not as the host, but to actually be a participant. I think me, my husband, and maybe Ayme will all be doing this meditation again. Um, so just remember the key phrase: in the providence of the mind, there's no limitation. You know, uh, I know, like I said, I'm ready. I'm ready to, I feel it because, yeah, it's just awesome. And right now I'm definitely looking at, how to heal out a spiritual issue so that, my four body systems all rebalance and I can take that next roaring moment to be where I'm meant to be in my soul thing. Excited to do it again. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. She might have already left because she was super excited. Who knows? But if you are ready to move forward, this is why I'm here. This is why I do the show. And, it's up to you. I hold the seventh plane of energy, so that you can experience it. And if you're ready to listen to more with your soul, then you're more, just start stepping in as your higher self and really step up into your world. And you don't do it with conquering the ego. You do it by stop over identifying because the ego is just a lens. And when the outside defines you, it's like, no, it doesn't have to own you, define you. It can help, tone you, sculpt you, but you don't have to, and it helps you build a different perspectives. Um, you don't have to give away your energy or your life force. All right, so she must have already gone to bed. I'm going to double check to see if anybody else has paid. No, we're good. And I'm just proud of all of you. Those that have really gone through the Lionsgate. You may not think it's anything, but guess what? It is so much more. This one is super, super, super important. That's why it was last minute. Get in there and deliver. And I did. I did it through a soul-led life. And I feel like all of you are starting to learn how to have a soul-led life. And I love it. Double checking in all the rooms one more time. And I think what I might do, and some of you, you've heard of Rumble and Discord. I'm wondering if I need to get rid of TikToks, because I feel like TikTok and, uh, there's too many, like right there. It just keeps freezing. It keeps this TikTok account is, just saying it to me, that's a joke. So I think what I'll do is I'll eliminate the one and, begin to open up a something. Davin, do you know, like, have you heard of any other, like Rumble or Discord or, was it Substack? Or I have to start doing a podcast. I'm not even sure where to do it. Twitch. Have you found people like, me or readers or healers on Twitch? Because, um, I feel like that's where a lot of people I'm supposed to start connecting with. So I'm going to write down Twitch and then do some research. Again, going to be starting doing some podcasts. I don't know if that means with camera, without camera. The series, from what I can feel, is similar to this, but not quite. And that is the Emotional Resonance series. And that is taking a journey, I believe, with the way your meridians are. So I've got Twitch, and I'm going to look into Rumble, um, whatever podcast. I have once, I forgot her name. Oh, okay. So there is people there. So then they accept this type of genre, then that'd be good. Okay. So Davin is in with that generation, a younger generation than I am, and she goes into those. They have a just chatting option. That might be what you have to select. Oh, gotcha. Uh, I believe she was gaming while doing cards and sometimes. Yeah, I used to game. I didn't know we could record. I wish we could have. Yeah, I had fun doing that. I played dedicated to EverQuest, and so for me, EQ means emotional quotient. It's a whole different meaning. Oh, yes, thank you, Spirit. Pam, now that I see that you're there, um, how many times did you do the meditation? Because I think you were, I think you said that might do it again. Now, when you do the meditations again, do you need to set up the elevator? No, not necessarily. The second one was incredible. Tears ran down me, my eyes. Oh my God, and my meaning of the second card came through. Pretty amazing. I know it's a strong meditation. That's why I feel like we need to do it again. So now, if you dismantle your rocks, your elevator, remember you already have a intention with the experience, and all you have to do is say, "Take me to my elevator," and then go in the providence of mind. There's no limitation, and you and your body and your spirit part, and as long as you kick the energies out and you rebalance the Tanji pull, and you sit in, use whatever mudra or whatever you want to do with your fingers to get into the seventh plane. And you can literally begin to feel how in that feel, it's already starting, your gate will be represented. You'll get to familiarize this thing. So I could be standing in the store and meditate if I wanted to. Or park. Oops, I gotta charge this. Yeah, that's fine. I'll shut this off now and charge it. Um, I'm so glad to hear that. That just warms my heart to know that I already knew it was a strong meditation, but that's really warmed my heart knowing. Oh, so I'm going to ask my husband and um, I'm going to ask my crew. I'm going to ask my husband and I'm going to ask Ayme if you guys want to do that meditation again. This way I can be a participant instead of the host. This is good. This is good. Okay, so um, we'll see you guys in tribal tomorrow and we will work on the next layer of energy. I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm super excited. I really am. Thank you so much for being here, being supportive, sharing. Um, Also, do we still, oh, very good question. Part of the meditation at the end. If you can ground yourself, practice grounding, this is the one thing that we have the problem with. And part of it was dark chocolate. You don't have to. Like for me, I may drink dark licorice tea. Um, Intentionally start when I'm drinking water, even if I'm not having, I'm practicing being present and feeling the grounding. You might have to because again, you're living in the top part of your triangle of your Merkaba, and you have to start sensing that you have a bottom half. So intentional grounding, breathing and grounding with your pictures, and that notice that you're already safe. Cancel, clear, delete. Very good. And zip, 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 to the left brain. And so if you need to have your dark chocolate, you can nibble on some of that right before you go and do the meditation, and even at the end if necessary. I got this one that had 70% cocoa since I don't like the bitterness. Yeah, that's perfect. That's totally fine. I found a company over here that has a different type of cacao. And it don't use the false sugars. The point is dark chocolate can be very amazing and helpful with the antioxidants, and that's where you want to make sure the free radicals can just shut up. So eat a lot of vegetables right before you go into meditation. Like for me, I will whip up, let's see, blueberries, a carrot. What else? There's a couple other things I put in it. And then I drink that down, and boy, I can feel the antioxidants just fighting off those free radicals. Um, so yeah, practice grounding. Davin, it was wonderful that you came, and I'm lucky. Oh, so now you know that your name is in the tribal. So pay attention when you see like medicine, MWS tribal admin. That's where I'll put the link to get into Zoom so that we can do, so you can do tribal tomorrow. So remember, it's the same time as I start my show. We'll get connected there. Keep, yeah. See, that's the thing. Once you understand that you can stand as at the spirit's choice, that choice point, you can, when you start to pay attention, you're like, yeah, no, you don't get it. Cancel, clear, delete. Call your energy back or zip, 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 whatever you need to do. But getting it so that the left brain, that's why Wayne Cook works so well, so that the right brain and left brain, and you can stand in that middle where it is, can be quiet. It's not always easy, but the energies are super, super important. I'm proud of all of you. I really am. Thank you so much. You almost didn't see the chat request. Okay, but you got it. I would double check, and one way or the other, we would have got your butt there, or at least warned you or tell you so that you can get there. Even if so we work with you. We work with you twice. I love it. Keep writing it down. Keep a meditation journal, because the one thing that ego part of you does that tries to go back into efficiency of this was the old personality is a lot. You'll think, oh, it didn't happen. But if you witness and you write it down, especially like you say meditation journal, and you'll say this is what your first experience was. If you didn't write it down right away, that's fine, but put yourself in that time and space, and then bring you stuff right after. What happens is you're building a new filing system, and then the brain will go, we're supposed to be this old, wait, what's this new information? And then little by little, this one becomes obsolete because you're building a new one. And your heart and your brain will go, oh, I feel more safe, secure, stable, and all of that. Journaling is a very good thing. If you're journaling and if it becomes negative, I'm going to give you a piece of advice, is that you're hardwired. Every time you think and feel, you hardwire. And if you write down, look at it, keeps cutting out. It's ridiculous. If it is negative, do OMG. So use your body, use your hand, use the top of your head, like this, just like this, or thumb, just like this. And anything that's negative, anything that feels heavy, anything that no longer serves, just sit there, measure how you know it, and stay there until it disappears. And then when you start to journal, your life force will start to change the way you feel, which changes the words, and you start to sculpt your reality. Could sparkling water help with antioxidants? Sparkling water. I may have to do some research on that, because I know that structured water, different kinds of water can really help with it. And some of them, it all depends on your intention when you're drinking it, or if your water was exposed to negative stuff, you may just have to balance it out. That's a good question. We may have to search into it. But anyways, for you, Kata, that simple little thing. So if you're journaling, and then after you've healed, go back and see what you wrote and say, is it true? Because you're going to start finding out that you need to become in charge of your left brain. Good night. Okay, and then you'll become more in charge with your higher self. You don't always have to believe your BS, which is belief systems and bullshit. And when the left brain is left to its own devices to create meaning for the world, and you can't connect to your right brain, then you could create a particular hell on earth. If you want to hear this message and it's broken up too much, I'm going to have my admin put in my YouTube address. It's very simple, Medicine Soul-ution. That's SOLU. So the correct way of spelling solution. Last word is classic or classics because I have a new website I'm building, or YouTube I'm building, and then the Emotional Resonance podcast is also what I'm building. Mm-hmm. Yep, right on YouTube. But thank you all for coming here. Thank you for holding space and sharing and give me the likes and the loves. Uh, this is awesome. Yeah, you can't get too much out. So I don't think I can either, because every time I try to figure out how to type, it doesn't allow me to. You sent it to her. Okay, that's great. All right, we're going to go because I think that's Spirit's cue that says get off now because who knows what's going to happen. You're already blessed. You're already whole. Okay? So learn to resolve to evolve, heal instead of deal. Okay? You can heal that. And if you are in doubt, heal it out. And don't, if you have an incident, don't waste it, paste it, do some healing. So you're already blessed and you're whole. So stay blessed. Oops. And happy healing. I gotta hit stop first. Oh, that didn't work. Hold on. We go through this every time, I swear. All right, save transcripts. There you go. And then hit stop. And I love you, and I'll see you in trouble tomorrow. All right, bye. Oh, come on. Maybe. Now I don't want to hang up. Oh,